Yep. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. I just got a bit of a notification. There's a whole bunch of lives going on right now, but we do what we can. So,
Yes.
But thank you everyone for joining us. Let's go up
Yes.
to the top. Angela, Tiny Trinkets and Tarot was here. Milord, Richard, the stash list is here. Kristen Louise is here.
Ooh.
Patrice is here. Jackie is here. Hello. And let's see. Jen is here from Jen Science to Soul Tarot and Transformation. What do you say we ignore Jen in the chat the whole time? Because she did it in Jonathan's thing. She was... I'm horrible.
She was being saucy.
She was feeling saucy. I'm doing the same thing. Jackie's here. Let's see. Ishi's here. Hello.
Paper Moon Tarot.
Oh, Paper Moon Tarot. Hello, Nancy. We're also going to be, you'll see me with Jamie and Jen tonight as we do the hashtag tarot at the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So
that'll be fun.
Oh,
hey, Chris.
Hello.
Yeah.
Jackie told me not to be mean. I'm not going to be mean.
He's not mean.
I mean, maybe sashay.
Well, so. Yeah. That's part of your charm, though.
So that's part of my charm. It's just part. That's it. That's all I have. So
yeah.
Well, I am very excited to have Kristen Louise with me today. Kristen, how long ago was it that I reached out to you about this?
Oh, I don't know, maybe like a month ago. Like it started percolating about then.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm thinking most people know you and me, but give us... Oh, Robin is here. Hello, Robin.
Hey, Robin.
Give everybody a brief introduction about you and who you are.
Oh, Lord. My name's Kristen, obviously. I have a channel that's relatively new. It started probably in the past 6 months. It started with Jen from Jen Science to Soul Tarot and Transformation, her gratitude challenge. So that's when I braved it and started making videos. I'm from Ohio. I've been reading tarot for about I'd say like 4 to 5 years, but I didn't take it seriously until the pandemic hit. That's when I started to dive into it more, and with the corn streams and whatnot. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad you're here in a nutshell.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Robin came in, and apparently I am bad Gerald, and I'm not to be mean to Henry, to Henry. So, I'll arrange for great injustice. Okay. So anyhow, I'll just ask you the question. Oh, by the way. Did you see Patrice?
Yeah.
I loved your...
Thank you.
Yeah.
I plan on doing another one on the 10 of Swords, so I think that'll be my next one.
Oh, okay. The Ten of Swords.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Pandemic will give your religion or tarot. Yeah. So, but so I so what I wanted to do. This is a what did I call it? I made up a new word and I have forgotten it already. It's
It was a casual.
casual. This is
Yeah.
a casual chat. It's a chat that is casual. So everybody can certainly pipe in the chat because I've probably got about 30 Empress cards pulled out. I've got the boxes out and they're just sitting right within my reach. So they're right over here. So I'll ask you the point blank question, Kristen. What's your beef with the Empress card?
Like, yeah, I'm pretty well known in, circles. It's become like a running joke with the Empress, just because of different reasons. But it started with her stalking me. So she was stalking me, stalking me, stalking me, stalking me. And then I did like a 12 card spread. And then I asked who is giving me this message. And then I pulled the Empress card. So I'm like, shut up, I'm like, I don't get it, and so slowly and then I named my channel Empress Tarot, and I'm like, because she was stalking me so much, so I thought it meant something. And plus, people know me, I nerd out the history stuff, and so I'm really, obsessed with Napoleon Bonaparte and Josephine, his first wife and stuff. And so I was like, well, that means something. It's got to mean something. And so I named myself Empress Tarot. She disappeared, and I'm like, well, I have issues with the card anyway. I don't relate to it. So often I don't like the way she's depicted. And then but I'll still repeatedly pull her. Like, she'll still come up. And then it becomes a joke, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this sort of led you to get more in depth with the Empress card. Is that right?
Yes. So like, I'm making a personal deck out of other people's artwork and photography and whatnot. Currently, I have 5. I have 5 Empresses because I feel like she is so big. She is such a big concept that she cannot be summed up in a single card. So, yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the Empress card in the texture tarot. I forgot to do it.
No, that's okay. Robin got his jab this morning, so he's lying down and listening, or laying down and listening. Did you take your Tylenol? So, if she's, stalker cards can be like, hello, pay attention.
Yeah. So, like, one of the things I always say is, like, I have trouble seeing myself, like someone else has to tell me, you're just like this. And I'm like, I didn't know,
Right.
And so my one of the things I want to do is just dive deeper into her and find myself in the card in some form or fashion, as long as I like her depiction, so.
Well, and so, okay, so you mentioned that you were doing your personal deck. Say a little bit more about that.
It's just a deck. I can't release it because I'm copyright infringement,
So you're doing this just to have create your own deck and your own baby and be able to connect with it well?
Yes, absolutely. And so I have 5, and I didn't print them off. I should have, but yeah, I have 5 Empresses, and like, it seems to be happening where I'm actually going to have 2 decks, but I'm also thinking of a 3rd deck of creating it from scratch. So we'll see. Yeah. For my own artwork.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. So
yeah, we'll see.
Have you found it yet?
No, she's going to be the one on top. I swear. She's going to be the last one.
Paper Moon Tarot said the only card I am personal with is the devil.
The devil.
Damn. Yeah. So, and Robin, the best advice that we can give is to drink lots of water. So yeah.
Oh, I hope you feel better.
Yeah. So, Kristen, when you talk to me about the Empress, what do you know? How do you connect with her, and all that stuff?
Okay, so my original exposure to the Empress was, of course, a Rider-Waite Smith, and she's like the lounging woman, and she, has the stars, and she's just sort of like this pampered woman. That's what it feels like to me. She's sort of like this pampered woman. Some people say that she sort of has a baby bump, under her muumuu, and she's in her garden and stuff. So that was my original. Wait, what was the question?
Well, I was just saying, tell us about your experience. Well, I'm going to show. This is the Robinwood Empress.
Yeah.
So this is pretty Rider-Waite Smith influenced, and so you're not a fan of this depiction.
Well, I mean, that one's different because she has the spinning wheel, and so both of us connect to Frigga, and that makes me think of Frigga. So I think this card is a little more complex than the Rider-Waite Smith.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But yeah, so I relate. Like, I really like the Marseille depictions of her. She's pretty badass in the Marseille. Yeah, like I started to relate to her differently the more decks I looked at, but I still have issues, it's still like I'm child free myself, and so it's really hard for me to see myself in a deck, in a card where she's fully pregnant, and I understand the metaphor. Like, I get it. Yeah, it's a metaphor. I get it. I can get on board with the metaphor, but when I had the channel named Empress Tarot, I was like, I got to be in that card. I got to be there. So yeah.
Okay. So in your discovery, what are things that you discovered about the Empress that you, and I'm gonna, so what are things that you discovered about the Empress, things that you connected with, and things that you don't connect with?
I guess the first and foremost that I don't connect with is that she is maternal. Like, she's sort of, gathering in the children, kind of, she's very, and I'm not like that. Like, I'll be mother bear on you. Like, I've been told that I could go mother bear, on certain people, but I'm not that nurturing kind of mother. So that's how I don't see myself in it.
Okay.
Now, there's some hints in some decks where she is the woman of the earth. She's the woman who's willing to take her shoes off and get her feet dirty. She's one with the forest. It's not just about agriculture, like sort of, planting flowers. She has a wildness about her. So in that sense, I feel like I relate to her. But at the same time, I am kind of girly. There's parts of me that are kind of girly. So there is a femininity to me.
Sure.
So yeah.
Yeah. And Nancy was like, if this is the ultimate female card in the major arcana, and some of us are females without kids, the pregnant ones bug me. So
yeah, and especially if you read for yourself and not other people, like, there's a different relationship with the cards when you're reading for yourself versus reading for others. Like, she is a feminine, like, she is portrayed as female. Like, in my personal deck with the 5 cards, one of them is she's a drag queen, walking through the woods. And so I see that as a feminine figure, so it doesn't have to be what we understand women, stereotypically are.
Right.
if
Right.
that makes sense.
It does. I mean, and I think we all have different experiences, which is what I think makes it wonderful. Um, to as we look at tarot, and I've got probably, like I said, 30 decks out, each with a different variation of the Empress card, which I'll start showing you. And Debbie said, you may not be a mom, but you have one.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah. And so actually, my idea for my deck that I want to create is actually using bodies to create the deck, to use faces. And so what I'll actually do is paint people's faces and basically press them into paper. And I was like, well, who will be the Empress? My mom. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a neat idea. So,
Yeah.
I think, when I think of the Empress card, I think of the idea of it's the epitome of the feminine side, or the receptive side, which is
Mm-hmm.
by the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think to me, the Empress is a card about creating something and bringing it to fruition and then nurturing it. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when I'm looking at the Empress card comes up,
Mm-hmm.
I think about, okay, what is this person creating? It sometimes it's very literal and sometimes it's not. But
Mm-hmm.
more often than not, it's about the idea of being fertile with a lot of ideas, and and then the idea of being driven to create something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, and I also think in the Empress cards, the thing I like about them is she knows her value. She knows her value and what she brings. So and to that, I also think about when I see the Empress, I think about self-esteem.
Hmm.
This is somebody who knows their value and has a voice to be able to say it in a way that could be either very nurturing, or, I mean, and there's always positives and negatives to every card. I mean, so she likes to control the environment to make sure things come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think about, okay, I'll stop talking. So
No, this is great.
yeah, so it's very much she controls her environment, and she really knows. I think of an Empress as somebody who um they oftentimes know what you need before you know you need it.
Hmm.
And then they set it up to provide it to you.
Interesting.
And
See, like I always saw like the Queen of Pentacles that way. Like,
uh-huh.
yeah, there was actually a deck that someone else made that I did a couple cards in, and one of them that I was assigned was the Queen of Pentacles. And I don't know if people are familiar with the Matrix. I seem to always compare things to movies recently. I don't know why, but in the Matrix, there's the Oracle, and she's this woman. She like tells it like it is, and then she's like, "Here, have a cookie." But I never thought of her as the Empress. She could be the Empress as well.
Have a cookie.
Oh my God, you got cookies.
I
Oh,
you know,
you're the Oracle now. You're the Oracle.
you know. Here you go. You want me to be, I could be Miss.
Yes.
But no, I understand that. I mean, and I think a lot of times the Empress is the one who understands what it is we need to grow in the way that is best for us.
Mm-hmm.
So
I could see that.
yeah.
I like that idea.
Okay, so Nancy said, when we show the Emperor, we don't show him with children. Masculinity should include being a father, but it doesn't in tarot. There are some wonderful versions out there of the Emperor with children.
Yeah.
So,
And like, but I see the King of Cups that way. I see I see. Yeah, the King of Cups is someone who would have a gaggle of children around him.
Yeah, yeah. And Jen said, our different perspectives are so fascinating. I'm a mom, but I've never looked at the pregnant Empress as giving literal birth. I see it as the nurturing, be that child, other humans, or nature.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, either because they have children, it's easier for them to connect with it, or there's something about their mind or lack of hangups that sort of opens them up to easily reading the metaphor into pregnancy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like for me, like the Empress, she creates more than babies. And so I want to see the creation, not just the lounging in nature, in around green things, but the act of creation of it.
Right. And that goes to that idea is she controls the environment. I mean, she knows the natural order or the best order for which things need to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times um a lot of times I think of it's the Empress who will go, okay, now we're going to do this. Now we're going to do this, and having a way to get everyone involved in the way that's going to help the overall outcome. So,
Mm-hmm.
if she asks us a question, how do we see the Empress in relation to her number, and where else she is within the minors?
Oh Lord. Oh Lordy. If she's asking the big questions. See, okay, y'all know that I'm terrible at remembering the numbers. So I actually have to look up the cards or count on my fingers to figure out which cards are which. Okay, so I see 3 is creativity. Like if you look at the Marseille, it's about creation. So turning that 2 into 3. So she is about creation. And then you have like the 3 of Cups, which is sort of creating a greater understanding of interbonding between other people. So I could see that. 3 of Swords. I mean, that's creation right there. I mean, it's creation, creating your path. It's sort of, yeah. So yeah, I see it in the other cards.
Yeah, and I think there is a direct relation to the other queens. Those are different aspects of the Empress.
Mm-hmm.
And I also pay attention to a lot of times when there is a balance on the card of some sort, maybe
Mm-hmm.
people, I do think about, okay, what's the possibility there?
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to pull out a deck, and the In Between Tarot. If you've seen the In Between Tarot, the In Between Tarot, which is great, is actually shows the Empress giving to the Emperor, and you can see that there are children below them. And I think it's an important thing for me to remember is that the Empress brings over the energy from the High Priestess. So it builds. This is building. So the High Priestess is, pulls through that energy of the Empress pulls the energy of the High Priestess through.
Can you hold that up again? See, I don't like that card.
Yeah. Why don't you like it?
It's like she's giving away her feminine power. She's like, here, have this. See, I would like that if it was both the male and female symbols. So it's sort of like a unitive, yeah, but that would be the Lover's card,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's see. Richard says, for me, the Empress represents Demeter. She has the power to bestow bounty and nourishing. she can also be just as destructive when she deviates from her true path. Summer turns to ice and snow. Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like I see sort of Durga, in Hinduism. Like Durga is like this vast mother who can create and destroy,
Yeah. Well, and so can the Empress, of course.
Yeah, like if Durga is the Empress or someone like her, yeah, like if you have like a woman lounging in a garden who's pregnant, who's creating life, where is the destruction of life there? Like that overarching power,
right? Okay,
I'm not sure it's there.
Angela brought up something, and I will show it. Angela talked about how she said the Zany tarot includes a father with children, and I have the, so yeah. Here's the Emperor in the Zany tarot.
Oh, so cute.
So, and here is the Empress in the Zany tarot. This is one that I wanted to show. There you go. Wait a minute. Let me pull that.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I like that.
Yeah. I think what's an interesting thing to keep in mind is there are so many different variations and things. It's hard to encompass all of the meanings of a deck, or of all of the meanings of a card in one card.
It is.
That's really, really hard.
Yeah.
And Ishi said, "Come to the dark side. We have cookies." So yes,
I would like some cookies. That sounds good. Cool. Yeah, and that's why I have 5 cards so far, because I can't stop. And I'm like, well, what about this aspect? Like I have Josephine Bonaparte as the typical lounging in the garden, but I have all these other ones as well.
Sure. Ooh, look, I have a spam risk call. Ooh, how exciting. Okay. So Angela said the Empress to me is more like nurturing, as in Mother Earth, and feminine energy. And so I
think. Go ahead. Oh, I was going to say, like, nature. Like, there's 2 sides to nature. There's the darkness and the light. And so Mother Nature can create and destroy, like we were talking about. So it's sort of order and chaos. And so I just don't think that, a lot of cards capture that,
Yeah.
So
it's hard.
But it could be that there's a dichotomy there, and that the Empress, the point of that card is to show the creative side of nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
And okay, so and I think Ishi is like, and I see the Empress in the likes of the 10 of Pence too. Oh, of course. Ishi is like, Rachel Pollack has a tier system for the majors. I forget at the moment which is where, but how is the Empress in the major for you two? In my, okay, so if I'm thinking about, I'll be bold. I'll just say it. Without the Empress, nothing else can happen. I mean, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Men just have to show up, deliver a sperm. So trigger warning. But it's the female who creates new life. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And then has, and is able to nurture and create.
So. Yeah, like atypical Will from Atypical Tarot said that the Empress, in like she is bigger than and encapsulates the Magician and the High Priestess. So not only does she manifest, like she is able to take these physical items and manifest with the environment. Taking all that. And then the High Priestess is she's able to go within and use that information to be intuitive.
Right. And I would even be daring and go, okay, so if you think about the 12, which is the Justice card, and then the 21, which is the Judgment card. And 4, the Empress has to be able to exercise good judgment, or good, exercising justice in everyday life and keeping the big picture in mind. Because without that,
yeah,
there's not going to be survival.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hello.
Yay, hi. That's an interesting way to put it, because it reminds me, like, some people know that sort of my main hearth culture is Norse paganism. I consider myself a Norse neo-pagan. And one of the crux of Norse mythology is trying to draw in chaos, like trying to control it. And I never thought of that as a role of the Empress, so that's interesting. Sort of like, yeah.
And then, isn't that what temperance is about? Temperance is about taking pieces and parts that don't normally put together and heating them up and pounding them so that they become sharper and sharper.
Yeah.
It's like, so Nancy, Paper Moon Tarot, I think the queens, as in charge of social programs, and kings as charge of infrastructure. Maybe Empress and Emperor are similar, but they're both in charge. I agree. I think I can't remember with whom I was speaking, but the emperors are the ones they figure out the edges of the kingdom. They figure out the big picture, but the Empress is the one who handles everything inside. And for it to be successful, you need both to work in unison.
Yeah, like I'm thinking of going back to Napoleon and Josephine. Like Napoleon would be away at war, planning battles, all that fun stuff. And Josephine had to go basically be a diplomat. So she would go into these countries, have to have these parties, make everyone feel important and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Deanne's like, yes, for me, Empress Queens feel more hands-on, so to speak. Well, and in the Robin Wood Tarot, I'm a big fan of the Robin Wood Tarot. She talks about how if we relate this to the king and queens, the queens will show you, the kings will tell you. The queens will show you. The kings will tell you.
Interesting. I never thought of that.
Yeah. And for me, that in my mind, it's like, okay, I'm going to show you, I'm going to nurture you along. And then the emperors will just tell you, go do this.
Yeah, my supervisor's a king then. She's a total king.
Oh, yeah. She sees the Empress in the likes of the Ten of Pentacles too. Yes.
Yeah. I see her in the Nine of Pence, definitely, as well.
Oh, yeah. And I do think, it's certainly not to be discounted I think there's a relationship between all of the cards. If you think about, the Empress, and here's an interesting thing. If you really want to understand the Empress, then take the Empress card and put it next to all of the other major arcana or all of the minor cards and go, how does she or this card this concept influence the others.
I love that idea. I think that'll be an exercise that I'll do with all the major arcana. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I also feel Dan's like, you should publish your deck as volumes at once.
I should, like, at least, like, I need to call it back. I do, but like, it seems to be popping up that there might be 2 decks. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and so many facets of each card, usually with 1 or 2 main aspects being portrayed, and that's a challenge. I mean, and that's where, as readers, I really started, I think, intuitively in reading. That's just sort of how it happened, and then I put a structure around it, and now I'm trying to go back to intuitive reading, and that in itself there's so much power in that. Visually, what is it that's there? And what does that jog for me as a reader? So I think it's very, very fascinating.
Yeah. And I guess we have to keep in mind that these are symbols. They're cards with symbols on them. So you can't have every card encapsulating everything in an actual person,
Yeah.
The entire deck encapsulates a person. So
it encapsulates an experience.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. The other thing is while I think the Empress really does relate to the Empress relates to the queens, and the Emperor relates to the kings. In my learning, my formal education with tarot, I was told the kings and the queen are equally powerful. They just use that power differently. So if you think about that structure, and you think, as it's, page, knight, queen, king, the queen and the king are equally powerful when I'm reading the cards. So, I mean, and that's just sort of, it really helps because, okay. And so, some of the challenging sides to the Empress is you could have, one of those helicopter mothers, or, a helicopter parent who, the child falls down and swoop, they're in there to pick them up and clean them off and sanitizing everything. And, it's like, this is my opinion, not endorsed by everybody, but let the kids eat dirt. Let them get an immune system. I mean, it's like, okay, kids are supposed to be resilient. So
yeah, absolutely.
So,
but one of the cards of the 5 that I have is actually Empress Dowager Cixi, who was the Empress of all of China. She ruled it outright. And so she's pretty badass, and so, but she reflects the Marseille Empress. So there's a different feel between those 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angela asked if my volume is really low. Is my volume low, people?
Not for me.
Okay, well.
Maybe they're not balanced between the right and left.
Yeah. People are all a combo of masculine and feminine, but tarot divides those into separate archetypes, just as it does intellect and heart. Yeah, and one is not more important than the other. Deanne thinks she's Danica by Kristen.
So, but yeah, I have to share. Okay, so my favorite deck currently is the Textured Tarot. I love it. It's the first deck I've been able to read with intuitively, I'd say. Like the Sastrabito, I started with it, but I really was able to dive into it. But I hate the Empress card. And it's not just because she's pregnant. It looks like she stuffed a beach ball under her dress. I don't know if you could see.
I'm going to try to make you large. So,
Okay.
all right, go ahead. Do that.
Yeah. Okay. It might be too bright,
Okay.
but you can't really. There. Do you
She's.
do you see the beach ball under
Yep.
her dress?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So, I mean, that's just artistic issues, I guess. But
Right. Right. So, well, would people like to see some variations of the Empress card? Yeah, Naomi. I don't know if you said it to that, but yes. So you have a couple, right, Kristen?
yeah, I have. I just showed one, and I have two others. I don't have many decks,
Okay.
so
Because I have all of the decks, right?
you have just about every deck known to man.
No.
You're like what the library. What was that? That Library of Alexandria. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I love the Muse Tarot one. Yes,
The Muse Tarot. And
I love it. Yeah, because it's coming out of her heart. It's not her womb. It's coming out of her heart.
Right.
Or maybe like her solar plexus. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so there's a lot of variety that I'm going to show in what I have, and I'm trying to keep them in order. This is from the Enchanted Tarot. And there's the Empress.
She's kind of loungy.
She is kind of loungy, yes. So, but she's hovering. She's in the sky.
Yeah, it's very Mary-like. Like Mary was assumed into heaven, and she's just kind of overseeing things.
Right.
And I think, the Virgin Mary is a good archetype for the Empress.
Well, you'll enjoy one of the decks that I'm going to show you. Here's from the Vice Versa Tarot.
Uh-huh.
And the Vice Versa Tarot, you have two images. You have one, and then you actually get the vice versa side of it. So you see what she's looking out to see.
Oh, so she has the Chai on it, which is life.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, but on this side, it's night, and on this side, it's day.
It's day. And there's
the tree.
Dude. Oh, that's a tree. I thought it was a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
I was like, that is disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's a tree. Okay.
So here's another one that is a completely different one. It is the Worm Weird Tarot.
I've never heard of it.
Well, this was, sort of an accident. And this one, it's just bizarre. So.
Yeah.
So Naomi thought that was a tower exploding. So.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one. So, okay, so tarot of the mystical moments. Jeffrey recently got this one, and this is the Empress card.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, we got the fetus and the flowers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course, Angela, I would own a deck that's called the Worm Weird.
Worm Weird.
Of course. And then the Empress from my Trimmed Bonefire Tarot, and is this.
There's so much going on in that. See, that's a deck where it's like, I have 5 cards. I got to all fit it all into one,
Yeah.
So, I mean, she did it, I'd say.
Yeah. I think Debbie Aquarius Owl really likes this deck. So.
Yeah, it's a beautiful deck. Beautiful.
It's really, truly amazing. Okay. The Wildwood Tarot.
Mm-hmm.
The Wildwood Tarot, it's the Green Woman.
Yes, I love that one. Yeah, very, very Oh God, of course I'm going to forget it on a live. Someone help me out. The goddess that creates the elixir to try to feed her child, and then the other one takes the elixir, and then it becomes Taliesin or Taliesin, or how you pronounce it.
I don't.
Starts with a C. She's a Welsh goddess. Never mind. That's what it reminds me of, over the cauldron. So basically, she's creating this elixir of wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Peregrine.
Yeah.
That goddess.
Okay. So, and then here's the inner child cards, the fairy tale tarot. Who do you think is the Empress in the inner child cards?
Yeah, see, Naomi. Yeah, thank you.
Mother Goose.
Oh, that's precious.
So it's just
there's a lot of empresses and like nursery rhymes and
right.
Yeah.
Right. So
there was like that woman that lived in a shoe. She had like a bunch of kids.
Is that old Mother Hubbard?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. So okay, let me get my next pack. So my next stack. See? So, okay, one that I absolutely love. So,
Ishti has a question about the Wildwood Tarot.
Is the wild one that you have a deep connection with, enhanced by the study book? That's the one that I'm actually working on. I'm reading that. I have not. Yeah. You have a really good connection with it, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I just got it as well, but yeah, absolutely, because I love the fact that you could find like a ton of like Indo-European symbolism in it, and it's so big. It's so like Jen said, like you need a PhD to learn the deck, basically. So right. I'm looking forward to diving into it.
Yeah.
She didn't live in a shoe. Okay, that's some cartoon. That's some cartoon I saw as a kid.
She went to the cupboard to get the dog a bone.
The dog a bone. Okay.
All right. So, the Transparent Tarot by Emily Carding. I absolutely adore this deck. And here is the Empress card in this.
Interesting.
And the premise of this is that you can lay the images on top of the other ones. And so this just makes me squee. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, that is cool.
So
yeah, one of the cards in the 5 that I created is actually, there's 2 hands. One is that come up out of the earth that are sculptures. One is in Brazil and one is in Uruguay. And so one of them, I chose the one from Brazil. And so that's this hand coming up out of the earth. Mm-hmm. And over it is the night sky with all these stars above it. And so that reminds me of that kind of energy.
Right. Right. V. Kestrel thinks, I always think of the Emperor and Empress when I see Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, I see that. I think it's cool to, use pop culture to dive deeper into tarot.
So, and then this is a recent acquisition. I've not done a walkthrough yet. It's the Thoth Journey, the Oracle of Change. This is the Empress card in that deck.
Oh, that's beautiful. Very pretty.
So, okay. And then we have the Marielle Tarot.
Yes.
And this is the Empress and the Marielle.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty traditional to me.
Yeah. Well, and she's got a baby on her back, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very beautifully done.
Yeah. It's quite incredible. And then the ever controversial Bone Stone and Earth Flesh Tarot.
Yeah, isn't she like in the middle of birth, kind of thing? Yeah.
Yeah, and she's with the tree.
Yeah, I remember Avalon talking about this card, and she says she values herself as a mother so much she could not create an Empress card without her being pregnant.
Sure. Well, and that's her experience, and I appreciate that. So
yeah.
So my next stack. Everybody bored yet? So, the new era elements tarot.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Empress card in this deck.
Okay. See, like a lot of them they have babies. They're either pregnant or they have babies, and
Which,
and I get it. I think that's an easy way to show creation. It's understandable.
yes, it is understandable. She's like going, no, Gerald, not bored. Okay, so Marielle is a read too, studying with that and Tarot of the Divine. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Like I compare the Marielle, like when I actually got rid of my Marielle because I felt like reading the descriptions was like listening to like a PH student at a party, really drunk. And it's just like mixing all these mythologies while trying to impress other people. So it was just a bit much for me.
It was a little much for you. Okay. Thank you, Debbie. So this is the This Might Hurt Tarot, which, by the way, edition 4 is in her Etsy deck or Etsy store. Here you have this.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah. So why do you like her and not some of the? I mean, she's out in nature and she's sitting on a stump. Why? I'm just curious.
I think there's a number of reasons. I mean, I don't love her, but I like the fact that she's out in nature and not just in a garden.
Yeah.
I like the connection of her eyes. I like that. I think it focuses more on her sensuality than her production. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think this card really shows she understands she has good self-esteem. She understands her worth.
Yeah. So maybe that's the message. Like I never saw her as that, like a card of self-esteem. And maybe that's why she kept appearing to me. I don't know.
I don't know. So, all right. And let's move to the Wilder Woven, which is the Wilder Woven Tarot. And here's the Empress in this deck.
Adorable.
Yeah, and so I think this is an interesting perspective because rabbits have a lot of babies.
Yes, absolutely. They have sex a lot.
They procreate quite a lot. So,
yes.
So. Oh yeah, focus on the cards. Yeah, for the Hermit's Cave. That's true. Do you have the Salsa Rapido out? I'm putting some.
What? Yeah, I do. The Empress, and that this is the self-esteem card, bar none. But
yeah,
like she loves herself. It's sensuous. She completely accepts herself. She's at one with the universe, at one with the nature. Like you still have the crown, the astrological crown that you have with the Rider-Waite-Smith, which I do like. I like that addition. But yeah, I just love this card. Yeah. There's like the Sastra is really good for self-love. Really good.
Yeah. So I have a copy of the Trionfi della Luna.
Oh god.
And this is the Empress there.
I can't. I just his artwork is just like I can appreciate it.
it's not for you and it doesn't connect to you. So
No. What? Yeah, I'd love to hear what other people think of that depiction of her. So there's two faces. Yeah.
Well, and it's Patrick's and it's Patrick's vision. So you know that.
And yeah, do you know what that bird is? Do you know what it is?
No, it may be a peacock.
Yeah. It looks like a spoonbill or a peacock. Yeah, I bet it's a peacock. That would make more sense.
Yeah. So, okay. How about the Housewives Tarot?
I haven't seen it.
So the Housewives Tarot, here's the Empress.
What does the sign say?
The sign says recipes for success. You know, I just think it's like,
it's funny. Yeah. Like, yeah.
It's and the whole deck is funny. And
yeah. It's taken that 1950s vibe. So
yes, Ishi, there is a third eye in her navel.
Yeah.
So
not sure what that's about, but
yeah. And it looks like Betty Crocker. Yes, it does look like Betty Crocker.
Yeah.
So
or shake and bake. Anyone see like the shake?
Yeah. Okay. How about from the Tarot of the Divine? And this is the one that I was thinking about earlier. This is the one. This is the Empress.
Yeah, that's the Mary of Guadalupe.
Our Lady of Guadalupe. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Have you seen this deck?
I have. I've seen flip throughs and whatnot. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this quite a bit. And
yeah.
It was Common Hawthorne who got me to end up buying it. So Star Seeker Tarot. A little bit more of a traditional.
Yeah. I like the fact that all the moon phases around her. I like that.
Yeah. Yes. I love that too. So how about Tarot of the She?
Yes. There's a lot going on.
There is.
Yeah. She does have the pregnant belly. I don't know what she's holding in her left hand.
It looks like she's holding like some cake or something like that. But
interesting.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. So that's the deck I'm using for my gratitude journal.
Okay.
The Luminous Void Tarot. Does anybody have this? So here's the Empress.
But that's interesting. Like I watched Corvin's. It's a deck that she was getting rid of because she was like the faces. I can't do the faces.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. She's sort of like holding a sword, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think.
And I've got the 5 Points Tarot.
I never heard of that.
Well, upcoming in my 2 weeks on my channel, I'm going to have an interview with Chandler and Zane about them creating their decks.
Cool.
And this is the Empress for the 5 Points Tarot.
Cool.
I think it's interesting how we have 3 different, the Maid, Mother, Crone.
Maid, Mother, and Crone. Yeah, that is nice.
So.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we talked about with Deanne's archetype thing is like trying to, understanding the Maid, Mother, Crone, like encapsulating the feminine energy. Yeah.
Right. And I do not have, do I have the Hush Tarot?
I don't know.
Maybe. maybe. I'm not going to search for it. So why do you say that?
What?
The Empress card in there is different. So is what she said. So in the Hush Tarot. So sometimes I find the Empress and High Priestess vibes a bit hard to differentiate depending upon the decks. I can certainly see that.
Mhm.
I can certainly see that.
Yeah, to me, the High Priestess is more about spiritual matters.
Okay.
Sort of like up here, and then the Empress is like down here. So not necessarily a difference between, because I think that's very too dichotomous, but
yeah. So the Santa Muerte Tarot, here's the Empress card in that.
Oh, that's very Marseille inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So how about the Journey of the Sacred Bee?
I have not seen the Empress in that, I don't think.
Okay. And this is the Empress there.
Well, that's sweet. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is she like holding on to a bee butt? Is that what she's doing?
She is holding on to a bee butt, if you want to look at it that way.
I mean, bee butts are adorable, so.
Naomi said she has a crown headdress in the Hush.
Oh, a crow headdress?
A crow, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If I remember before we go, I will embiggen you and do that. How about the Ember and Aura? The Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this one?
It's been a while. I don't remember the Empress in it though.
There's the Empress.
She's baking bread.
Yep.
Yeah.
So thanks, Angela. In the Hush Tarot, it's a woman emerging from like a bird with bees flying around her, and the bees are like tying her up, like protection of the queen. It's very different. Google it.
Yeah, that is different. That's complex.
Yeah. So, okay. So the Forgotten Tarot. This is one that I did a walkthrough on.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in there. Hey, Jen, watch that. And this is the Empress there in the Forgotten Tarot, and most of these are, photos. So
are they specific people or?
It does not say.
Okay. I like her.
Yeah. She's like bee butt. So.
And I have there's the Empress from Darkness of Light is the other one, and she is out in the forest and she's creating music, and she's sort of like a dark gothy Sleeping Beauty Snow White, where like all the animals are like crowding around her. So yeah, I like that one.
I have that one, but I haven't really looked at it closely. So okay, so here let's change it up. How about the new Golden Dawn Ritual Tarot?
Oh my.
So, and here's the Empress here.
Yeah, that's very Marseille and Thoth.
Yes.
Like kind of, I don't know Thoth Empress, so.
Yeah. Californian Russian, no, we are not doing readings today. So there's lots of others who are doing that. I think I have one more, which is the Crystal Skull Tarot. Jesse Driscoll's, which I just received. And there's the Empress card there.
Now, I don't know crystals, so I know that it's real. The symbolism is really in depth as far as.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Chris from Elemental Cartomancy did an incredible interview with Jesse, the creator of the deck, and they talked about all of the different things. So.
Yeah, is Crystal here? I haven't seen him in a while, so I assume he left.
So, but But yeah, so so did you do you have another one?
Nope. That's all I pulled.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look for my Hush Tarot. So
Okay. I
while
can. I mean, I could try to pull another one. I think the only deck that I have that you don't is the Game of Thrones, and I don't know if I have. I'm sure it'll be the last card that I find.
of course it will be.
Yeah. Ding, ding. Oh wait. Okay, here she is. It's Daenerys Targaryen because I mean she has dragon babies. You know.
Okay. I'm going to embiggen you for a second.
Okay. Anyone that has, oops, sorry. If anyone's seen the show, like people who don't know, she knows from the beginning. There goes that self-esteem. She knows from the beginning that she is supposed to be someone special, someone big. She ends up becoming a mother of 3 dragons. And by the end of it, she becomes an extremely destructive, dark force. So at the beginning, she's extremely idealistic and she wants to care for the underdog, the oppressed. And by the end of it, she becomes destructive, sort of like, I guess you could compare her to that creation destruction energy.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have the Hush Tarot, so so if she is like on the Empress and this might hurt, yes, I showed that one. Here's the Slow Tarot. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
here's the Slow Tarot.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
And the Empress here.
She looks very sad to me.
She does look a little sad. I agree
like
with
haggard. You. Yeah, she looks very haggard. Like she's been through too much.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah. So, okay. And I have one other deck that was just in my reach, and I just got this last week, and it's the Lifeline Tarot.
Mm-hmm. Never heard of it. Oh yeah. Okay, I know that cover. Okay.
And Naomi would love the Slow Tarot. So, but okay. So here's the Empress.
So she's the Rider-Waite Smith.
Yeah. So this is what's interesting about this is it's all one line except for, you know, this and the top. So
yeah, it's like Etch a Sketch.
Oh, I hadn't really thought of that. Yeah. So, oh my gosh. So are there any questions from those remaining? I do not have the Guardian Tarot. So are there any questions for us? As we, you know. Are there any other thoughts that you have, Kristen, that you want to share?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
If she's like, going to pull out all of the decks.
All of the decks, yeah.
Problem with that is they would fall over and I wouldn't be available to get up because I would.
Yes.
So, Kristen, did you get any insight? I'm going to put you on the spot. Did you get any insight from our time together?
Well, I think the biggest one is that what you said earlier about how it's a card of self-esteem and the fact that she owns herself. And I think that's a great perspective on her.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I guess, just being realistic. You know, I have to be realistic about how these are cards. There's only so much meaning you can get into one card.
Right.
So yeah, but I know that I still don't like the overemphasis on the babies. So
Sure.
but
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, Naomi asks, what do you think is the best interpretation?
to me, it's the cosmic mother. She's the one that births the universe. She is creation, she is destruction, she is beautiful, she is frightening. That's to me the best for me personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the that's really hard because it depends, because just as we've seen lots of variations of the Empress card, and you have 5 in your personal deck.
Yeah.
There's so many variations, and just as there are there's ways that we nurture, and
Hmm.
one is not better than the other per se, but they're different, and I think that's important. So, but I like that cosmic mother. I think for me, it's about nurturing, and it's the nurturing alongside of you and helping you along and being willing to let you fall. Um, but still be able to pick you up if you needed it.
Hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
I am not a father. Um, and I think a lot of times you'll see kids out playing and then they'll fall, and they'll get up and they'll look for their parents to see, are they okay?
Hmm.
And so long as the parent can, the kid can see the parent, there's interesting dichotomy. So
Yeah, that's interesting because I just thought of like how it relates to inner child work and how she could relate to inner child work, and it never occurred to me.
yeah, because it's about how are we brought forth and supported as we go through. So,
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
like that. So light bulb moment. So
Woohoo! Woohoo!
woo.
And I think, I had mentioned that there's an overlap between the Empress and the High Priestess. If I boil that down, I think the overlap with from the High Priestess to the Empress, it's empathy. There
Mhm.
is a um, the Empress knows, she just has a sense of what you're going through, and so that's really really helpful. So
Mhm.
um, if she likes the Egyptian creation story, she would be the hand perhaps in your deck, Kristen.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Patrice said we need to see her sensual nature. Yes, and I'm going to clarify that. I'm actually going to say sensual as in all of your senses, not just around sex.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and that's so true. That's how. Well, yeah, yeah, that's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like I changed my mind, like because I mean those are two sides. There's that cosmic mother's more distant, but maybe the Empress isn't meant to be distant. I don't know. Yeah.
It's yeah, can it be both?
Yeah. Yeah. I think especially if you're doing inner child work, like there's the mother that's there, and then when the mother disappears, when she retracts, that you become your own mother, kind of thing.
Right. You
Yeah.
become your nurturer.
Yeah.
So okay. So Naomi said good answers to both of us. And I think there's overlap. V said, I think there's overlap between the Queen of Pence and the Empress. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Um, thank you, Patrice. Um, Jackie, this was an implicit.
But on
Two
that
beers a
note,
week, people. 2 drink minimum. Boom. But bing. So and I think Jen is like, all this talk has made me realize my hubby is like the complete balance between the Empress and the Emperor.
Yeah.
And
Aw.
yeah. And I think it's one thing, um it's hard sometimes for me being um of the male gender, that people don't think that I can be emotional or that I can be nurturing. And there's stereotypes that people put on us based on
Yes.
what we present to the world. Um, and Jackie's agreeing. My hubby was too, and that's great. So, I think there's an opportunity for us to. I mean, if everything has to be in balance, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
because when it's out of balance, that's when problems show up.
Yeah. Like I think to like if men who sort of absorb part of that Empress energy, I think that's very healthy. I think our culture is very much about that toxic masculinity, and they force that on men. Men aren't allowed to be emotional. They're not allowed to have that thing. It's very oppressive.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think it's a missed opportunity because when we also think about, and this is where I'm going to, I don't know a lot about, um, I don't know a lot about other paths. I mean, I've had some experience, but there's the yin and yang.
Hmm.
There's this balance, and without the balance, then nothing works. It's all
Hmm.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so I think so. If okay, here you go, Kristen. We'll finish up with, if you were to have the Empress that you most need now say something to you, what would she say?
Ah. I would say that she came to me in a wonderful woman surrounded by flowers on her head and said to me, "You are powerful." I think you embody the Empress when you wear those flowers.
You are powerful, girl. Powerful. Boom. I'm gonna need a new headdress for this, just for you, Kristen.
It's beautiful.
Boom. Yes, but do you believe me?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah, yeah. um, Excuse my hair. So, um,
Angela is like, why'd you hack my name off a YouTube channel?
so I think the Empress would say to me, "You are enough."
Yeah, I like that.
You know, oh, Nam is agreeing. You're powerful. So, all right. Um,
Well,
okay.
this has been wonderful.
This has been great. We've been on for an hour and 18 minutes. So thank you
Yes.
everyone for sticking in. I appreciate it. You've been wonderful. So I think Kristen, what do you got coming up on your channel?
Um, I plan on doing a video on the Ten of Swords, like I've done with the Tower and the Death and Moon cards. Other than that, like it's very up in the air. Like I'm going to do some more of my a Discovery of Divinities video, and I'm going to do a walkthrough of the Money Tarot, the Major Arcana, and
Okay.
that's all I have planned right now.
Okay. Excellent. So next week at 3:30, I have Justin Michael coming on to talk to me. I'm going to he's going to show me his, and I'm going to show him mine. So there may be a special guest or two. It's all above board, Hen. Don't worry about it. So, and thank you, everybody.
Oh, thanks.
So, and I think it has been fun. Yes. Yeah, I love it. Yes, Queens. So, um, you play your part. Ask your hubby, Jen. So, thank you, Ishi.
Thank
And so, well, gosh, thanks, everybody. And everybody take care and see you again soon.
Bye.